Hey guys, we're about to do the rest of the signs. I think I will go with water next. This is your ex coming back to you readings? Oh, my ex coming back. Right, ready to rock and roll. God, I'm freezing here all of a sudden. So water signs, we'll start with Pisces. Some messages for Pisces, please. Messages for Pisces. Okay, so the first card out we've got is the Four of Swords reversed. This is just a jumper card, so while I'm shuffling. So the Four of Swords reversed suggests to me that you may have been taking time out from someone. So obviously this we're talking about an ex or a connection. You may be thinking about going back to them yourself. You may have taken time out and be thinking about returning to them yourself, getting back out there. If not with them, just getting back out there in general. So there's that energy that's in the read. Okay. So how do they feel about you? We have the Seven of Pentacles. How do they feel about getting back with you? What is the likelihood of you getting back together? Is there anything, is getting back together in your best interest? Is it for your highest good? Is there anything good about you getting back together? With the Three of Swords. Will it last if you get back together? We have the Three of Pentacles. It's very similar to another read I've just done. And the advice is the Page of Pentacles. So you actually may be, with the Four of Swords reversed, you may have decided to move on from the situation. It may have been you that's decided to move on from the situation. Perhaps they are still trying to come back towards you. If it's not you, then it might be, this might be in vice versa energy. There is this Seven of Pentacles here for how they feel about you. So how they feel about you is either that you're turning your back on them or that you're coming towards them again. And maybe when we think of the Seven of Pentacles, that we think of putting hard work and effort and energy into something. So are you in a place now where you're maybe contacting or suggesting to them that did we actually did we put in all the effort and energy that we could have really done? And if that's not you, that's them doing this with you. So it may be that they feel, because the lady on this card has a back to him, and she's got her arms crossed as well. So this makes me feel like, I feel like maybe he's I'm saying he, it might be a he, it could be a she, it could be either or, whichever way it works out for you. But it's almost like he's trying to get her attention. He's trying to say, look, can we put more effort and energy into this? Can we work on this? Can we put the work in to make this happen? And you just might not be interested. You just might not be interested. So they may be seeing you as just not interested and walking away, deciding that what you've poured your effort and energy into obviously hasn't bore the fruit that you thought it would, and that you're turning your back on the situation now. However, the readings being named as like, is your ex coming back? This would suggest that, you know, you may be considering that. So how do they feel about getting back together with you? And we've got the Hierophant. They may feel like it's the natural order of things, so to speak, and almost like it's meant to be. It's almost like it's expected, or it's meant to be. It's how to say. So when we think of the Hierophant is the one that's all about tradition, the one that's all about kind of reaching out to the higher self, learning, and it may be that when they think about getting back together with you, they feel like they've learned lessons with you. They may have learned from you. They may have things they feel they want to teach you in a way. But it's almost like they feel like they may be very traditional. They may be very traditional in the sense that, I mean, if you're married or anything like that and you've parted ways, they may be feeling like you have your break, but then you come back together, and it may just not be that way for you. You may just not be in that place. They may actually come in with the Hierophant here. They may actually come in kind of trying to step it up again, trying to knock it up into... if you're not already married or anything, try to knock it up into a further commitment with you, or into something where it's classed as traditional, where it's like moving in, getting married and stuff like that. They may be trying to push something in that direction. I feel like they see you as the one, and I feel like in getting back together, they feel like it's meant to be. It's kind of how it's meant to be. And if that's not them, this could be you. They could also be speaking to and seeking advice from people. So if if it is a case where we're not together, but we're both kind of still interested, or we still love each other, or something like that, it could be that they're just speaking to people about you. They're trying to speak to people to find out, get advice. They may suggest some kind of counselling in order to get things back on track. Or if not counselling, maybe just that they're seeking advice from somebody older and wiser, and someone who's quite grounded or spiritual, or even seeking like readings and stuff like that, trying to figure out what they've done wrong and how they can fix it and what they need to do to work on themselves. So they may be doing stuff in order to kind of try and get back in with you, or you them. This could be vice versa. I mean, usually I feel pulled to one way or the other, and I'm not. So it may actually be both of you. They may feel it's like a calling, with yous being together. They may feel like you're their one, and it's like a calling that you should be together. It's almost like it's kind of ordained or something. It should be what it is. Then when we think of them speaking to somebody that's older and wiser, or somebody that's just wiser, or somebody that can kind of give them a bit of guidance and stuff like that, they may be thinking about getting back with you and speaking to somebody who could be saying, maybe it's not for the best, maybe it's not the best idea, and kind of turning their head away from you. And this could be somebody that they would hear the advice of, somebody that they would listen to, and somebody that they would take heed of any suggestions or any guidance that they offer. So it may be that they're speaking to other people. Instead of coming speaking to you about getting back together, they may be speaking to other people. But the problem in that lies is, like, if the other person just thinks it's going to be all drama or something, they would just discourage them from doing it, saying it wouldn't be the best idea. It's not maybe it's not a typical relationship, or it's not how it's supposed to be. So maybe you do things different, or maybe like families think that you should be married and stuff like that, but yous are not, and maybe one of yous is not into marriage and stuff like that. So the other family may think, you're not traditional like they are. but it's very confusing. I can't really pull to one way or the other on which side would be which. It could be both. It could have broke down because yous are different from each other, and that could be talking like race or sex and stuff like that, or be, you know, like same sex and stuff like that. Things could break down because it's kind of frowned upon by other people, and people tend to listen to other people. So it could be something like that. It started out like that and it's brought it down, and then now everybody's like, see, it wasn't going to work. We told you it wasn't going to work out for you. But I feel like there's advice being sought or looked into about something. Now, what is the likelihood of you getting back together? We've got the Page of Swords. I think if you communicate with each other, I think if you're honest and open, and you open your hearts to each other, and you do this in an innocent way, instead of like kind of going in all aggressive or all authoritarian, that if you go in and open your heart in a pure kind of way and speak purely, speak the truth about how you're feeling and what you're feeling and what you would want, because I feel like you may be watching each other. There may be that you do keep tabs on each other, but you may just not be communicating that well, if at all, at the moment. And that may have been an issue in the past where you just weren't communicating properly with each other. But when we think of like when children, when we think of Page, it's like a childlike energy. And when we think of children speaking, they speak the mind, they say what they feel, they say what they think. They get it out there, whether people like it or not, they get it out there. They just say it how it is. And I feel like that's how it needs to be. But then we have to get to a place with ourselves that when we're communicating with people like that, that we're not going to get like kind of arse hurt over, you know, them being honest or truthful with us or speaking the truth. We have to get to a place where we can accept what they're saying, because sometimes we get like really upset or really offended by things that people say to us or how people communicate with us when it's things that we're doing or saying ourselves, maybe in a roundabout way or maybe directly, but then because somebody else is saying it to us, it's like it is suddenly an issue. So it could be something like that that's been a problem between you, and you may need to kind of get on the same level, speak honestly, be allowed to speak honestly, be able to get it out there as to what you are truly feeling and thinking on a situation. But is getting back together for your highest good. And we have the Three of Swords here, and I know everybody expects me to just say no. There's been hurt. There's been hurt, but there's also been lessons. And there is also, with the Three of Swords, everybody always thinks of the heartbreak side of it. And yeah, that is true enough. It is there. There is that element to it. And there is things of the mind you may need to heal. It may be the way that you think, the way that you communicate, the way that you think. You may have to heal something in the way that you bond with each other, so that you're not getting upset or offended or hurt when you communicate with each other, and so that you can be honest, and open. Because what we forget is with the Three of Swords, there's this groups element to it and this growth element to it. So it may be that once we learn to communicate properly, we can grow from it. And there's the healing element of the Three of Swords as well. So it may be that this could be a real good opportunity for you to heal. And this might not even be a situation where you're having to heal something from just this situation. This could be from past issues. This could be something that follows you. This could be a situation that kind of follows you. And you might see repeating patterns in connections, friendships, and relationships. And it may be something within you that you need to heal. And this could be a good starting point, maybe, if you're both into it. But you'd have to have an honest conversation, and you'd also have to be able to step back if the other person, if you approach the situation and the other person's not interested, you then have to be able to say, okay, well, you've tried, and step back from the situation and leave it be. So will it last if you get back together? We've got the Three of Pentacles here. The Three of Pentacles is another free card. It's another card of groups and growth. And it's a card about teamwork, working well together. It's about establishing something and moving forward with it and building something up that is going to be great. It's something that is good. So would it last? I feel like if you can get around the communication issues that you may be having, or if you can speak directly to each other and not be partaking in kind of you know, it's nice to seek advice from people, but you open yourself up when we're speaking to people and we try to get advice from them. You're opening yourself up to them putting you off things, talking you out of things, making you feel a bit silly about things, and ultimately turning you away from things that could be good for you just because it's not what they like and not what they want. You know, somebody could put you off buying a pair of shoes just because it's not their style, but does that mean it's not for you? And it's like, it's nice to get the opinions of others, but we need to know where to have the boundaries with that, and where to think for ourselves. So I think if there's a communication issue going on and you can get past it and you can start working through it, I feel like you will build and you will grow. And when you build and you grow and you start getting things in balance and start getting things to grow and you're working well together, that's where like love really blossoms. So it's a kind of twofold situation. It's like kind of we're building together, we're learning to build a life together. We can learn to build a life together, to understand each other, to build a life together. But we're also allowing love to be in the picture as well, without fear. It's nice to have the stability, but the love's got to be there as well. And we have to be without fear to express the love. So the advice to you is the Page of Pentacles. Now, if this is that you don't want to get back with somebody and you're wanting to move away from this person and you're wanting to move on with yourself and start a new thing, but the Page of Pentacles, this is telling you, you know, you can build, you can get, you can create, you've got everything within you to be able to manifest and create what it is that you want. You just got to go forward with it. With the page moves very slowly. With the Pentacles, the Pentacles are very slow energy, but you've got to remind yourself when you're in this energy not to get stuck, because the pages, they've learned all the skills, they've honed all the skills of how to do something, and then they've just got to put it into practice, and it's getting them out the door to get them to do that. So it's like, wow, you know, especially if you're wanting to move on and you're wanting to find something new, don't hold yourself stuck in a situation. You may be to a point where you're thinking, right, I'm moving on, but then you're kind of keeping your life on pause for some reason, to make sure that you're actually actioning and trust yourself, because with the Page of Pentacles, we get this idea that we have learned everything that we need to know to be able to move forward in a situation. We know what we're going to be doing, and we know not to rush into stuff. We know to take things slowly when we do it, but we have to make a move. We know that we have to make a move. Now, if this is a complete opposite, where it's like you're both interested in getting back together, but there's something that's been an issue and other people may have been involved, or other people may be talking you out of reconnecting in some way, this is telling you that you need to like kind of get out on your own. You need to make decisions for yourself. You know what is right for you. You know how to move forward properly. And I feel like when you've done the work on yourself and you've learned what it is, maybe if there was communication issues, or what it is if there was triggers that were being hit, what is triggering that off, and you do the work to healing that, then you're going to be able to move forward successfully. So make sure that you're putting energy into yourself as well. But move, make a move, because especially if you're the one, maybe if you're not sure whether they're interested in you and you're still interested in them, the only way you're going to know is to do, is to ask, is to communicate, is to contact. And when you do that, you'll have your answer. If they're not interested anymore, then you know you can move yourself on, you can move yourself forward. However, if you don't ask and you don't know, you're going to keep yourself stuck, afraid to move forward in case you're going to miss out on something. So you need to be brave enough to kind of take an action in whichever direction it is that you're wanting to go in. All right, I'm going to leave that one there. Okay, so we're going to get into... Oh, a minute. Sorry, I had to write down the the timestamp and try and get my eyes in gear. My eyes are going like... Because the camera's right in front of my face. And I'm trying to focus on the cars, but it's catching my eyes. It's making me eyes go funny and not be able to focus. Should have turned the light on, but on the last read. But so Cancer. So we've got jumping the 10 of Wands. So this is an energy of being burdened, having a lot on. I mean, even in this card in the background, I don't know if you can see, but it says what WTF. You just may be feeling like you've got a lot on at the minute. You may be feeling stressed out. We always got to remember, though, with the 10 of Wands, it's been a labour of love. Whatever these wands are is things that you've cherished or things that you've taken on because you've had desire for them at some point. But things that you take on that you have desire for at some point, and we lose the desire for it, we're just carrying around baggage then. We've got to learn to release things when they are no longer serving us. I'll really make a drink. That frankincense, sage gets right, not sage, incense gets right on my chest. So there's an energy of burden around you at the moment. So how do they feel about you? How does your ex feel about you? We have the World. How do they feel about getting back together with you? We have the Knight of Pentacles. What is the likelihood of you getting back together? The Wheel of Fortune. Is getting back together for your highest good. We have the 8 of Wands. Will it last if you get back together? We have the Page of Swords. And the advice is the Judgment. Okay, so with this being the next read and with the 10 of Wands being there and given this idea of burdens and these cards that have come out, I feel like you may have been, how to say, collecting people, and I mean this in the best possible way when I say it's almost like you've done a Cancer, you've done a true kind of Page of Cups, Knight of Cups kind of thing where you kind of get attached to someone, you run away from it, you get attached to someone, you get bored, you move on, you may be doing stuff like that, and you maybe have got yourself in a few situations that you've not been happy with. There is something, I don't know which ex this is that it's speaking to with you at the moment, but there is something that you've got yourself into that is burdensome to you, and it's burdensome to you because you may be attached to your ex. I mean, if you're here watching this video and you're attached to somebody, or if you've split up with them and you've created situations where it's impossible for you to get back there easily, or you feel like it's impossible for you to go back there. There may be somebody that you are thinking of in a situation where you may actually be with somebody else, and now you're thinking, this is my ex reading. So collecting people, as I say, you may have moved into a situation that has now become burdensome, possibly in this kind of need to fill a space energy. Which is kind of, there's somebody that you still get pulled back to. There's somebody that you still kind of desire or get pulled back to in that way. Because you wouldn't be watching a video about your ex, let's be honest. How do they feel about you, though? We've got the World card here. They may feel that you are moving on from them, or that you have moved on from them, and it's like a chapter that has closed out, and it's a chapter that's closed out because you've moved on from them. So in this energy where you just maybe didn't want to be alone, maybe you were splitting up and you didn't want to be alone, or you line one up to be the next before the other one's even gone out the picture. In this rush to do this, you've kind of created a finality to something. You've created a finality to something, and this may not have been an issue for you in the past. This may not have been an issue for you in the past. It may be that you've been able to move away but still kind of keep people around you at the same time. I feel like you've hit a finality with someone. Now, is that to say that's going to be forever? Who's to say? Who's to say? You never know. You just never know what is on the cards or what's coming up for people. Anything. Fate. Judgment and fate. You just don't know what will come back around. But they when they think of you, or when they feel in their feelings about you, they feel that you've created a finality with them. So if you are still interested in them, I feel like it's you that's done this. It's you that's created this feeling. Now, there's nothing to say really that in this feeling of finality that they wouldn't be interested really in being reconnected with you. I think it would take a lot of work, especially if you've done something like move on before you were even ended with them, or if you've lied to them about moving on and you hadn't, you were saying you hadn't. I feel like there's something, you've got judgment here. There's something was done that's give this sense of finality. You may have done something, you may have said something, you may have I don't even know. Something feels like a nail in the coffin. So they may be angry with you. In that respect, they may be angry with you. So it may be that the finality that they're feeling is anger towards you. But is that to say that that's how it's going to always be? Is that to say that it's not going to move beyond that? So how do they feel about getting back together with you? And we've got the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight's a very slow-moving energy. The Knight of Pentacles is a very slow-moving energy, but it's also somebody that thinks very carefully. And I feel like if they did come back, or if you were to make a move towards them, it would not get off the ground. It may have been a sparky kind of fly by the seat of your pants thing before. I feel like it would be very different. I feel like you would be faced with a very different person. And, you know, you might not be ready for that yourself. You might not be ready for that yourself, because when you're faced with this person, this is not going to, they're not going to be, it's almost like they're not going to be the same way with you. Whether they felt it or not, they would never, you would never get the same. It's almost like this person learns a lesson and they learn it well, and they will live to this lesson. You will never, ever get away with the same shit that you've done before in the past. And this can be vice versa, by the way. This can be vice versa. I'm just reading it this way because this is how it feels to me. They will never let you away with anything. They are going to be so on the ball with everything. So how, I would say they could be possibly open to it. With this card, and it's weird with this card, I think it's a really nice one actually. We always think of the Knight of Pentacles as being stopped in motion or not moving forward. However, in this particular card, it's almost like a sense of like the stopping to chat. They may be open. They may be open to it. I feel like it will be a challenge for you. I feel like it'll be something that'll be very hard for you. I feel like this is going to be something that's going to be very hard for you to get back. They ain't going to be messing, you ain't going to be messing with them, and they ain't going to be messing about anymore. It's going to be very serious this time. It's going to be very structured this time, whereas it may have gone with the flow before. This time it ain't about that, and if you don't play the game with it in that respect, then they ain't going to be involved. They ain't going to be interested. They're going to be happy to move away. There may actually even be a chance meeting, because with this card I feel like it's almost like she's stopping to chat. She's bumped into you and she's stopping to chat. Could be a guy, but it's like you're bumping into each other and you're stopping to chat. I feel like you're going to have to either be in the way somehow for them to stop to chat, because I feel like if you weren't directly in their path, they would dodge you. I feel like they'd avoid you. Oh, that's interesting. So what is the likelihood of you getting back together? We have the Wheel of Fortune. And to me, this is stating that it's fated. It's positively fated. That you're going to reconnect in some way, shape or form. It's almost like when I'm saying you may have put a nail in a coffin, and I'm saying this because this is like looking up out of a grave. You may have caused a fatality, a finality of something with somebody who was your one. You may have now realized, actually, you know, everything that you got from this, almost everything you got from this person, you will never ever get from anybody else. And it's not even about the things, it's just about how they were. And I feel like even if you did come back together, you're not going to 100% get that again, which is really sad. It's really sad. I think it's going to be very very structured. It might be a bit too structured for you this time. It may have been all your way the last time, everything you wanted, doing everything to please you, and now it's going to be none of, I feel like you're going to get none of that. So if that was what drawn you into them, you know, you're not going to get that back again, to be honest. But I feel like this person was fated for you. I feel like they were fated for you. I feel like it should never, what happened should never have happened. It should never have happened. So it's getting back together with this person for your highest good. We've got the 8 of Wands, so this is about forward movement. This is about focused forward movement. You may be feeling really stuck at the moment. You just may be feeling really in a rut, where we had like this weighed down effect of the 10 of Wands. You may be feeling really stuck. This person may have pulled you along in life and may have almost given you life. And I know that sounds so cliche, but they may have just given you life. They may have just given you some kind of energy. They may have just kind of woke you up inside in some way. And that is, that was for a reason. That was for a reason. I feel like this person was your person, and that was for a reason. You felt how you felt because of that, because it was meant to be. This was who was to go forward with you. So was it for your highest good? It's something that's going to pull you forward. It's something that would pull you forward. It's something that would have continued to pull you forward had you, and I keep saying it in my head, not put the nail in the coffin. So there's something that was done that was a step too far. Would it last if you were to get back together? I think if you was to reconnect with this person, I mean, I feel like you'd have to take it slow. You would have to take it slowly. You would have to rebuild the trust. This person's not going to come anywhere near you if they can't trust you. If they get any kind of inkling that they cannot trust you, they ain't giving you an inch. And I feel like it's going to be very, very hard work for you to ever get that status back in their life. And as I say, I don't want to sound like I'm telling them, I don't want to sound like I'm popping off it is, but I feel like, as I say, this could be either or, this could be you, this could be them. It could work either way, but this is about your ex, isn't it? So this is speaking kind of from their perspective. If you can learn to communicate properly, I mean, this is element of watching as well, this element of kind of spying on as well. If you can learn to communicate properly and be fully, when we think of, I've just said in another reading, this one's coming up a lot. A lot of people need to learn how to communicate and get the old truth out there, because with the Page of Swords, when we think of the pages as the innocence of the court cards, the Page of Swords, if they've got an expression, if they've got an emotion, they will voice it. And when children speak, we don't demonize. So it may be learning that when someone's being vulnerable and innocent with you, that we don't demonize them for that. We try to understand it. But likewise, we learn to be vulnerable and open ourselves. And if we can all learn not to demonize each other for being truthful, honest, and pure, then I think, yeah, you would. I think it would last, but there's work that would need to be done. Honesty would be a very good starting point in it. So the advice here is the Judgment, and this Judgment card coming up as the advice here is telling you that this is all on you. This is basically, this advice is to you. Someone's got to give. If you was wanting them back, if you wanted to try and reconnect with them, even if it's not just getting back into a relationship, but it's some kind of friendship or connection again with this person, you may just miss the person. If you were trying to get some kind of connection or friendship back with this person, you have to look in the mirror and own what you've done. You have to look in the mirror and admit to yourself the part that you've played in it. Just as well as they do, though. Just as well as they do. And then when you can look in the mirror and you make the conscious choice that I'm not going to behave this way, or I'm going to do this, or even if it's looking in the mirror and saying, like, I really miss this person, I really want them back in my life, so I'm going to make the conscious choice to change my ways and approach them and try and speak to them and see where the land lays with it. You have to make the conscious choice. You either stay stuck where you are in the burdened energy, or you move forward, and you have to make that conscious choice. This one here is literally someone reaching in a hand to the grave there, beckoning to give you a hand up from. And this is almost like spirit is giving you an opportunity, a hand up, out of a situation, out of a death cycle, and rebirthing you into a new. If you choose to take it, you can choose to stay in the grave, or you can choose to take the opportunity to move forward with the situation. But I feel like, you know, either or whichever way it plays out, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be one of them where it's going to be like, oh, should we start hanging about together? Should we start going out? Should we start doing this? Should we start doing that? And I feel like it's going to be like pulling teeth. It's going to be so slow and painful just to even get any kind of a connection with this person again, to build any kind of trust with them again. But truth needs to be spoken. Honesty. All right, so I'm going to leave that one there. Okay, thank you. Okay, this one's going to be for Scorpio. Reading for Scorpio about the ex, please. Ooh. So I've got jumping out, we've got the Three of Pentacles, we've got the Five of Cups, and we've got the Hanged Man. So this could be a work situation, this could be somebody at work. If it's not a work situation, this could just be speaking, excuse me, to wanting to build again with somebody. That there's been a loss there, there's regrets in actions. There is hurt and pain thinking about the past and feeling stuck, feeling like you can't move on. Or seeing no way forward. You may have been kept hanging. Maybe in a situation at work. With it being 3, it could have been a third party situation at work. You may have been left hanging but heartbroken nonetheless. You may have been waiting around for this to come back together. I've got the Star card jumping out again, and this is hope. This is a light in the dark, so there may be the stars are aligning, maybe something's changing in your world, or maybe something's being illuminated after a very dark time for you. How do they feel about you? We have the Devil. How do they feel about getting back with you? We have the Four of Pentacles. What is the likelihood of you getting back together? We have the Page of Swords. He keeps coming out. Is getting back together for your best interest? Is it for your highest good? We have the Six of Wands. Will it last if you were to get back together? We have the Sun. And the advice on the situation is the Page of Pentacles, and he keeps coming out as well. Okay, so I don't know who, you know, if it was a third party at work or if there was a third party situation, heartbreak. I don't know who caused the breakup or what caused the breakup, but with them, how they feel about you is that is the Devil. They either see you as the devil, they either feel that you bewitched or intoxicated them in some way, or they feel addicted to you. You may be someone that you may have pulled your energy back from this person, and they can't stop thinking about you. They feel deeply for you still. They may not be showing it though. They may not be showing it because you may intimidate the hell out of this person. You may intimidate the hell out of this person. So they may feel very intimidated, but very stuck and drawn to you, almost like you're a drug to them. This can be vice versa as well, I should point out. So how do they feel about getting back together? We've got the Four of Pentacles, which means it speaks to me that they may be reserved. So there may have been something going on. There may have been trust issues, jealousy. Maybe there was a reason for the trust issues. I almost feel like in thinking about like getting back together, they may feel that they may not be able to trust you entirely. Or you them. They may feel that you will constantly be looking over their shoulder if you were to get back together. They also may be concerned that if you were to get back together, that everything that was before, so you may have been very giving to this person, you may have been, you may have opened up your home, you may have been very giving with your emotions, with everything, with your love and everything, and they may feel like if you were to get back together because of what happened, it wouldn't be the same. You wouldn't be as free with your love. You'll be more reserved with your love. You'll be more reserved with everything, with like the care and attention that you pay to her. I feel like you may be more pulled back. They may actually worry that if they did come back with you because they might have done something wrong, that you are just going to, you might have them back around, but they're not going to have your attention. So what's the likelihood of you getting back together? You've got the Page of Swords here. If you communicate, he keeps coming up for everybody in some particular spot or another. He's been coming up, and I feel like if you can learn to communicate and learn to get like the truth out there, and learn to trust as well and speak the truth and be able to have some kind of clarity. He is the Page of Swords, but on his little kite there, he's got the Two of Swords. So there's this decision. If someone makes a move, if someone makes a decision to move in either direction, then I feel like there may be a chance. If someone can get out of their head or stop listening to other people, there may be a chance, but you have to be truthful and you have to be honest. Otherwise, there will be no point. Like, we can't just brush, we have to speak about something. We can't just brush things under the rug, because when we brush things under the rug, they're going to come back again. And this is where we get into a situation where we're like, are they being this way again? Or are they now being funny with us? And we get ourselves back into the same situation, the same problem. So if we don't be honest and we don't speak the truth, we end up back in the same cycle again. But in order for anything to happen, whoever it is that's kind of closed themselves off and has been thinking tirelessly about this has to make a decision to move. They have to stop being maybe so stubborn in a situation. So it's getting back together for your highest good. We have the Six of Wands here. I feel like this would be like it would be victory one. This would be everything, but I feel like this is like victory after a battle, after You know, it's not come easy. You know, this victory has not come easy, and it's not come without sacrifice. Is it for your highest good? I feel like lessons was learned. It may have prompted you to grow in some way, and then it may have spurred, you know, when we think of like twin flames and we think like we trigger each other off, so we part and we learn our lessons, and then we come back together. And when we come back together, we're always a bit better. That's not to guarantee that we won't part again. But as we come and go, we learn lessons, and we grow and we grow and we grow. So yeah, I feel like in that instance, in that respect, it has been in your highest good, because it's moved you from a place where you were, and now you are different. Now you are in a different space. And I feel like with the coming back together aspect of it, it's another opportunity to learn and to grow. Will it last if you get back together? We have the Sun card, and this is abundance, isn't it? This is all the hard work's actually paying off. And I feel like if you put in the effort and energy, you communicate with each other, you get everything out on the table, and you're not holding on to bitterness and resentment, and you're not trying to like one up each other all the time, then yeah, you can move forward with something, and you can nurture it to a point where it is, you know, amazing for you. So yeah, I do. I think if you can get beyond the silliness really of it, then, and that's not to say like if they've hurt you or anything, that's it's silly. What's silly is when we tit for tat. Where we could drop something or go about it like an adult, but we choose not to. We choose to engage it in a childish, negative way, and it's tit for tat, and it ends up being something that kind of spirals out of control and gets silly, and we start being secretive, not communicating properly, start speaking harsh words, silly words. But if we can get a control of that, then yeah, it's something that could be great. It's something that could be absolutely amazing. But we need to drop the defenses, and somebody needs to make a decision. Somebody's almost in a stubborn energy that they maybe want to come back. They're thinking about coming back. You may scare the hell out of them. They may want to come back. They may want to speak the truth, but they're terrified to do so, and so they're keeping themselves stuck. So they have to get out of that energy. So what's the advice here? So to me, the advice here is like, honestly, in this situation, don't hold yourself stuck. Don't hold yourself stuck. If it's you that's stuck in this Two of Swords energy, if it's you that's not moving and just not, don't keep yourself stuck. Get yourself to an energy where you've learned your lessons, you've learned everything that you need to know, and you start moving forward. And if this person's going to come back around, they will naturally fall back around to you. You don't have to keep yourself stuck in time or in a place waiting for them to come back. In fact, they're more likely to come back when you start getting on with your life and you start getting about your life, and you could even get into another relationship and stuff like that. And it's you getting on with your life and looking after yourself and doing what's in your own best interests. It would be what would be the catalyst to spur this person to come back if they're ever going to get out of this two of Swords. You can't keep yourself stuck. You've learnt the lessons. Now plant your seeds and let them grow, nurture them, let them grow, learn from it, let it grow, move forward. Don't keep stuck waiting for it. And when you move on, because for as long as they think that you're stuck waiting for them, they're not going to approach you. Well, if you start moving on, it's going to be like, oh, hang on a minute, they're moving on. They're getting on with their life. Oh, what do you mean they're not sat thinking about me all day? And that gets their head turned. So when you start looking after you, you're pulling back your energy from them, and their energy starts chasing you then. It has the potential to be amazing if we can get by the bullshit. You may still need to do some growth yourself, especially if you're someone that's quite reactive. gets upset very easily. There may be work that you need to do on yourself for triggers. And when you start working on yourself, you start improving yourself, and then that's what brings them back in. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there. Thank you.